Well, hats off to Temple. Coach Keeler's done a heck of a job. The improvement from a year ago, last year, is really impressive. They got a really good football team. I knew that going in. I told our guys, and I said it to the press this week, this is the best football team that we played, most complete team that we played, and I'm so proud of our players. Not necessarily because of the way we played, especially at times, but just the way that we finished, the way we stayed the course, the way they kept believing in each other. It's a special group. I mean, the character, the connection. That's why we win these close games, and we find a way to win. And we're a relatively young team on defense. 7 new starters this year, and we're taking some lumps, and we just got to keep getting better. And I know they will. We've got some good players. Obviously in the first half, couldn't get anything going offensively outside the first drive. I think we had 3 3-and-outs. I think we ran 17 offensive plays in the first half. We're not going to win a lot of games doing that. And then we couldn't get off the field defensively. I thought we tackled poor tonight, didn't execute at a high level. And credit to Temple and their offensive plan. It's tough to defend. They do some really good things. Thought their quarterback played really well tonight. But at the end of the day, our guys found a way. I don't know if I've ever been more proud of a football team. Coming off of a CIC win, going on the road to play a really good Temple team. We've lost the last 2 times in the stadium. A lot to overcome this week, but just super proud. I mean, those are the guys we want, right, as leaders, officers in the Navy and the Marine Corps right there, because they are the definition of warriors. And couldn't be more proud of our team. We got a long way to go. We got to keep getting better. Obviously, this bye week comes at a good time for us, and we got to run into this bye week to get better, to become a better football team, and we certainly can. And our guys will embrace and attack that. So.
You said this past week that this team knows how to win, believes it will win, and finds a way to win.
Yeah.
But your words were never more prophetic than what happened out here today.
Yeah.
That's finding a way to win.
It goes back to what we talked about in the beginning. It's like deserve success. Do the things it takes to deserve success. And when you know you've done that, right, then you expect to win, right? And you can cut it loose. And our guys have done that. And so there's that expectation. They feel like they deserve it because of the way that they work, the way that they embrace the process. Again, just you couldn't be more proud of our guys, but you're right, Wags.
Coach, that last sequence where it looks like you're going to kick the extra point.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Timeout and then 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Kind of walk me through that. Was that kind of some gamesmanship there? Was, their natural thought of like, hey, we're just going to go to the tie, and then it's like, you know what, we're actually going to just go for the win right there? I
told Drew before we got the ball there on the last drive that we're going to go score a touchdown and we're going to go for 2. So I'd made my mind up then. We scored a little earlier than I thought we would, and so I paused for a split second, thought about kicking the PAT. But then reverted that thought process pretty quick, and I felt like we needed to go for the win right there. Didn't really want to go to overtime with this group, and great call. We knew they were going to call a timeout most likely because the formation was a little wacky, and they had one to burn. So we had 2 plays ready to go, and Drew called a great one. And then having 11 at quarterback, you want the ball in his hands when the game's on the line. He's special. He's a special player. I mean, I wouldn't trade him for anybody in the country, and made it happen. So big-time play and big-time finish. I couldn't be more proud of our players.
So the decision to go for 2, is that calculus of just being on the road when you're on the road you do that, or was it you didn't want to put your defense back out there at overtime?
All the above. A lot of factors go into that. Didn't really want to go into overtime. Didn't feel like we were playing well on defense. I felt like I had a better chance to convert there and go for the win.
Coach, you mentioned Blake Horvath, the quarterback of this team. Felt like so many times when you guys were in that situation where you need something to happen, you need a play to happen. He was there to get it done. And you kind of alluded to it already. Just talk about what he means to this football team, and what he's going to mean to you guys as we head into a back half of the season where you're facing some of the not just better teams in the conference, but also some teams that are nationally ranked.
Yeah. Well, he's a special player, especially a young man, special player. You feel good when the ball's in his hands. I think he'd be the first one to tell you he didn't play perfect tonight. We missed some throws and some opportunities. But when the game is on the line, you want the ball in his hands as much as you do anybody. He never presses. He's not a guy that flinches, right? He's his composure is outstanding, and just like I said, just a special player, and glad he's on our side.
Coach, I thought the Temple had a good game plan. I think at halftime the time of possession was unbelievably skewed in their favor. I mean, they wanted to win that game, they limit your possessions, and then when they get some stops like they did in the first half, it plays right into their plan.
Well, the game really went perfectly for them in the first half. I thought we were fortunate that the score was what it was and that we were just down 10. You know, we got a couple of, to our defensive guys' credit, we got some big stops down in the red zone. We got a takeaway, forced a field goal that they missed. So those stops were critical. But they were able to move the ball, you know, pretty much all night. You know, we had opportunities to get off field on third down. We get them in second long, right? And we just couldn't do it. And a lot of it was missed tackles, but there were a lot of miscommunications, lack of execution at times, and that's on us. You know, we got to simplify some things and make sure our guys get lined up, get their cleats in the ground, and go play. Because when they can't, there's too much thinking. It causes paralysis. But there's a lot on the tape that we're going to need to get cleaned up. But yeah, we're just so proud of our guys after playing probably as bad as we could have, you know, in the first half, really on both sides of the ball, to keep their heads up, right, and come out of the locker room with some energy and some juice. And I said right before we came out, we get the ball first, we're going to go score, and we're going to go win this game. And that's exactly what these guys did, and never stopped believing in each other.
You went 3 and out on 4 possessions in the first half. What did change in the second half that enabled the offense to hit its stride?
I think we only had 4 possessions, I think, in the first half. Might have gone 3 and out on 3 of them. Obviously scored on the first one. Just ran our offense. Didn't get behind the sticks. You know, we were at 2 third and longs in the first half. Couldn't convert. You know, we got a false start on the second 10. We made it second 15. It's hard to overcome that stuff. So just did a better job of executing and getting into the rhythm of our offense. And you know, told Drew just run our offense. We're fine. There's no reason to press or anything right here. And that's what we did. And players executed much better and finished the game the right way.
So you're 6-0 overall, 4-0 in the conference. You've already clinched the bowl berth going into the bye week. You talk about, I mean, you couldn't have a better start to the season.
No, you couldn't. And you feel like coming out of these 6 games, we're pretty battle tested too up to this point. We've had to overcome some adversity. We had to come from behind. So proud of what we've done up to this point. Our guys know we've got to get much better moving forward. All right, all of our goals are still out in front of us, and they know that. But they also know we've got to become a better football team. We got to coach better, and they've got to play better. And so everything we got to do moving forward to make that happen, you know, we're going to do.
Anything else for Coach Newberry? All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
The play on which you scored the 51-yard touchdown, was that a fake jet sweep or a run pass option?
No, that was just straight power for us, and our guys blocked it awesome, and Alex had a great block, Ben Purvis, great block, whole offensive line, just great blocks. And it opened up, creased it, and, you know, just executed well, executed perfectly, honestly.
And then the 2-point conversion play, I mean, that's rolling out, you got a small window, you threw it where only Alex could catch it.
Yeah, I mean, just full trust in him, you know, and getting him the ball in that situation. You know, I didn't call the play, but I had a little bit of input, you know, what I wanted to do and felt comfortable with. And I felt comfortable, you know, getting in a situation where I could run it or hit him on a flat route. So executed it well, you know, and he got himself open and caught it. And, you know, that's it. Awesome. Sorry, I don't know what else to say.
Alex, as a Ravens fan, I watched Mark Andrews drop that exact same pass on the 2-point conversion. Can you talk about the pressure you're under to catch that ball?
Well, I'll say this: the Steelers wouldn't have dropped that ball. So just gonna say that. But no, I mean that's a lot of Blake right there, and you know he gets a lot of publicity, and you know everyone loves Blake, and we kind of pick on him for that, but he deserves it all. He really does. He's such a good player for us and a better guy. So. You know, I trusted Blake to make that throw. It was not an easy throw. If, you know, he was getting sacked at that point. I don't think if he got the ball off, he would have been sacked for a loss. So he was able to, you know, find me open in the back of the end zone, and you know, convert, and we found a way to win. So that's what matters, and that's a really good Temple team. That's the best they've been for a while, and so props to them for coming out and you know giving us a game. So.
Blake, when it comes to this offense, you guys faced a lot of adversity at different points of this game tonight. You know, what goes into keeping everyone level-headed, keeping everyone ready to roll, and then having that opportunity, you know, after the score to really just take the game into your guys' own hands and win it?
Yeah, I think it's just the confidence that we've had, really, since going back to last year, and the confidence that Coach Cronick has built. And, it's the leadership, it's the senior leadership on our team, especially that, last year we probably would have flinched, and we did flinch in a lot of those type of games. And this year, we can't. It's our team now as seniors, and we know what we want to do with it. And it just sort of goes to the whole group of senior leadership, whether it be Ben Purvis, Brandon Chapman, Eli Heidenreich, this dude right here, Nathan Kent, right, even Hoke Smith, right. Those guys take pride in what we do and our capabilities, and we think we're a pretty good offense.
And then, just from an overall sense, this type of game that's going to mean something, and maybe not just record-wise, but like mentality-wise, as you guys head down the stretch, what do you think is going to be the biggest thing that you guys take away from this game as you face some of these other very talented American teams in the coming weeks?
I think it's just the fight that our team has, and the grit and the determination and all of it, right? Sometimes you need to see yourself do it to gain that. We've done it twice, multiple times this season, so it's just letting us grow and keep developing in that sense. And there's no quit in this team. It's awesome.
Can you talk about the offense's mindset as you went back out there? It's a very, a minute and whatever was left, not a lot of time. You got to go the full length of the field. What was the kind of the mindset?
I'll be quick. It was score, so that was the mindset.
I feel like there was some confidence going out there. I don't know what it was, but I just think, the mentality we have on the team, it's a must-score situation, like Blake said. I just think there was some confidence. There was a look in everyone's eye, that we could get this done and seal the game. So definitely exciting stuff.
Can you talk about being bowl eligible?
2 years in a row, it's awesome. Honestly, it's it's a huge goal just for us every year to get to this point. But at the same point, it's nothing to be to hang our hat on. We still got 6 more regular season games left, and we want to capitalize on all those. Right, the schedule doesn't get easier from here. So I think it's a great thing to be excited about in this moment. But I got to keep moving forward.
Anything else for the offensive guys? All right, thanks a lot, guys. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Newberry said that defense struggled a little bit. Can you talk about what happened out there today?
Yeah. So, well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I mean, win or loss, blessed to be here. So, yeah. And then defense, I feel like just communication, just executing our plays. We saw from, the past games, our efforts there, obviously, but just executing, communicating, making sure we're all on the same page and our eyes are on the right key. So I think that was, the main thing for us.
But Ira, like Coach said, on the stops you got in the first half kept things closer than it could have been. I mean, there was some positive there.
Yes, sir. Like Mark said, we got to give things to God because without him, we are nothing. But, yeah, as a defense, we face adversity. That's what we're used to. But it's how you bounce back that matters. The first half, I believe we had some good stops. Second half, we let them get some good punches, I guess. But we just got to keep fighting.
For both of you guys, when it comes to this Temple offensive scheme, what was the most difficult thing that really was presented to you guys? And then I guess the more important thing is, what is the biggest thing you guys are going to take away from this game so that when you face, for example, your guys' next opponent, a team that likes to use a lot of motion, like FAU, what's the main thing you guys are going to take into that one?
Yeah, so for that, I would just say, preparing for the motion. The motion, obviously, for all offenses will give defenses, they'll give trouble because then we have to check. We have to make adjustments to the motions. I mean, we have to get out of certain things. So I feel like we just have to do better these next 2 weeks, adjusting the motions, knowing what call we go to when the motions happen. And then what I took away is, we're a tough team. We don't flinch. We're always going to bounce back. So, when stuff gets grimy and gritty, we're going to come through and we're going to keep our foot in the tire and we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep throwing blows. So that's what I really love about this team is the camaraderie, the chemistry. We're going to still fight no matter how bad we play. We have that 1-0 mentality. It's just now for this next 2 weeks, we just got to get better on the execute and not making it harder than it has to be.
All right. What's going through your mind there as you guys even stop with 39 seconds left and you're not 3-man defense?
Bat the ball down if it gets to us, end the game. If I had a chance to pick it off and get down. But the rush got there. He couldn't even get it to the end zone, so that's it.
Mark, I'll give you one. DJ said you guys are really working on knocking the ball out this week.
Yeah.
How would you assess the way you guys did that? You did force a fumble and put that on the turf.
Yeah. We did. I think ball disruption, like knocking the ball out, was there. Obviously, Adam Klink with the tomahawk. I think it was a tomahawk. Yeah, tomahawk. So we did go with that, like ball disruption. I feel like there's still more chances to get ball disruption. We just got to keep improving on that because obviously, when they take the ball away, even though this Temple offense has coming into the game 0 takeovers, and we got the first takeaway. But takeaway. But I feel like we have more takeaways on the table. Yeah.
I'll give you one more for the both of you. What's it like when you know that you need a couple points on the board and Blake Horvath's quarterback and Alex Tecza's running out of the backfield and you guys are able to make a play like that?
We have confidence in Blake, Alex, and Eli, the whole offense. So it's just a matter of when they're going to do it. So.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like the offense, very explosive offense. I mean, when we play them in practice, they be giving us problems too. They're a very good offense, explosive offense. So, yeah.
Anything else? All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you very much.